Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am so freaking excited because I get to talk about the masterpiece that is Arcane. I feel like adults are missing out on really incredible storytelling when they dismiss a story or a show or a movie just because it's animated. And if you have not seen Arcane yet, you are most certainly missing out. If you're into high fantasy, adventure, action, this is literally the perfect show. I'm already gonna say it, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I personally have found nothing wrong with this masterpiece of a show. When it comes to animated series, there are only two shows that I would highly recommend to somebody looking to either get into it or trying to find something to like watch, or just, I don't know, if they're looking for animation. These are the two shows that I always give them: Avatar: The Last Airbender and Gravity Falls. I think these are like the peak of animation. I know it might be like butting heads and people are gonna like comment down below. Well, comment down below if you think that there's another animated series that like you'd recommend 100 out of 100 times. But for me, it's these two shows that I truly think are just great from start to finish. And now I'm adding Arcane to the mix because this is truly a gem and something I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that I enjoyed this much. Arcane first came out, I literally knew nothing about it. I just saw like the what's it called, the ads for it in like the train stations and like across the MTA, and it would always catch my eye and I was like, okay, what is this? And I found it on Netflix, and on a whim I just watched it. I know nothing about League of Legends or Riot games, so I was totally going into this blind and had literally no expectation for it. I've been disappointed before by animated series, but it just blew me away from the start. And so if you are looking to watch it, this is your sign. Go watch it, you will not regret it. It's top notch. So this video is going to be a review. It's not going to be in depth, but I guess kind of like, it's a quick review because I literally just have nothing but praise to say about it. Go watch it. There's going to be spoilers throughout this entire review, this entire video. So if you haven't watched it or you don't want to get spoiled, click off now, but then come back come back and finish the video, because yeah, I have a lot to say about it, but also not a lot because like I said, it was a great show from start to finish. So a quick synopsis of the story is that it's pretty much like a tale of two cities, where we have the beautiful, technically advanced glory of Piltover or Topside, and this is like where your dreams come true, pretty much. This beauty, this wealth, it's very like technically advanced, and it's a place that you would want to live. And then on the back of Piltover, well, not on the back, but underneath it, holding it up, is going to be the nation of Zon. And this is the Undercity, and this is not where you want to be born from. It's poor, it's gritty, it's rough, it's definitely like the wrong side of the tracks. But what's really interesting is that you wouldn't think that it could get worse, but it gets so much worse when the leader of the Undercity, he dies, and like this new person rises up and kind of just, it kind of sucks because he has good intentions, but what he wants to do, he truly wants the nation of Zon to be like its own nation because it's connected to Piltover, but it's significantly poor. I'm sure we can find like the parallels to real life. It's definitely a story of capitalism, pretty much. But truly, this person wants the nation of Zon to be great, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? And he definitely falls short in every sense of the word, which really sucks because I was rooting for him. So before I dive too much into the story and get into like the spoilers, I really want to talk about what captured my attention from the very beginning with Arcane, and that is the direction. I could not believe my eyes when I was seeing this beautiful direction coupled with this extraordinary animation. It was just a match made in heaven. I don't think I've ever seen animation this beautiful before, and I know nothing about animation and I know very little about direction, but I know what's good when I see it, and this is spectacular. If you watch this show for nothing else, watch it for the direction and the animation. If you're like in any of those fields, I think that this show will really inspire you to like really run forth and bring something new to the table, because Arcane truly does bring something new to the table with these two elements. So the direction for this show, it's a French company and I can't pronounce it. So I'm gonna like put it here so you can see, and then also 2 people are listed as like credited as the directors of this show, and I'm also gonna put it here because I can't pronounce their names either. So this is them, and I would give my left pinky or both pinkies just so that I could work with that. I really hope they do live action direction as well, because it's just spectacular and I would love to work with them on a project. The direction just really speaks to each character and the scene that they are placed in and their emotions. Just for example, we see with Powder, who becomes Jinx later, we see when we're inside of her headspace, it's very chaotic, it's very strange, it's very uncomfortable and anxiety inducing, and we see and we feel also how her I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself, but her brothers, her adopted brothers, they die literally because of her. Pretty much because of her they die, and the guilt is just eating away at her soul, and you just feel that from her with this extraordinary direction. We see that she has dolls of these 2 brothers, and they speak to her, and they have like X's over their eyes, and like when she's thinking of her sister, she has like hearts over her eyes that turn into X's because she feels that her sister Vi betrayed her. And it's just so, you feel it, like you really feel what she's going through this direction. It like pulls you in, you like lean in her scene, and you're just like, wow, what an extremely tortured soul in the absolute worst sense of those words. But then if you move over to the council and we're looking at Mel and we're looking at Jace, we see that it's like set up in this really tactical way, and it's like political, and like you lean in for a different reason because you're like, what is the strategies that they're thinking about? Like what elements are they trying to put together to make sure that they come out on top? And I don't know, you feel Jace losing himself in the council, and it's just to bring those emotions out from these characters, from these animated characters, in such a way that you kind of like, you understand. You don't agree, but you understand why they do the things that they do. And I really like applaud the direction for making me feel that way, because there's a lot of nuances in this show. No one is fully good, no one is fully bad. It's definitely a ton of gray areas, and through the direction and through this beautiful animation, you really feel bad for characters that you kind of like, ooh, am I supposed to be feeling bad for this person? Anyway, enough praise about this direction and animation. Let me go into the story so you understand just how beautifully crafted Arcane truly is. So the first season of Arcane, and there's gonna be a season 2, thank the Lord, but the first season of Arcane is 9 episodes, and it's divided into 3 arcs each. So Netflix released them 3 episodes at a time. And each arc is like a full story in of itself. So the first 3 episodes start out with our main 4 characters, and it's Powder, her older sister Vi, and then the 2 brothers who I forgot their names. Sorry guys, they don't make it in the end, so that's probably why I forgot their names. But even I'll talk about this when I get to character. So in these first 3 stories, you kind of get the feeling that this is a coming of age story, that it's going to be light and there's going to be hardships, but like this group of kids, they're going to grow up together and have a strong bond, and together they're going to like defeat the evil of Piltover and bring like beauty and riches down to the Undercity. And you're really rooting for them, and they go through hardships like sibling heartache, but you know that like these 4, they truly do love each other. And that's like the lie that Arcane tells in the beginning, that this is going to be a very heartfelt and beautiful story. But this is quickly turned awry by the end because, as I said in the beginning, Powder, the youngest, she accidentally blows up the building because she drops this gemstone. And this ripples throughout Piltover and the Undercity, because not only now are they looking for these 4 kids, but also the person who had the gemstone, Jace, he wasn't supposed to be having this technology. He's looking to make magic from science, and it's like frowned upon. And so now he's in trouble. And so we're following these 2 stories as they collide. But then in the back of all of this, there's this guy named Soko, and he's the person who rises up after Vander. He's the father of the 4 children, well, the adopted father of the 4 children, and he's like leading the Undercity and making it a safer place for everybody, doing the best he can. But he has this ex-friend who he tried to kill. Guys, watch this show. I am not giving this synopsis of the story any justice. But anyway, his best friend, or ex-best friend, who he tried to kill, named Soko, he's in the back, and he's like working on this plan to take over and like make the Undercity, or as he calls it, the Nation of Zon, great. And this is his dream, and it's really, really incredible, because I was like, oh, Soko, another villain, but no, he's sympathetic. He just wants his people to be great. He just wants the Undercity to rise up and be independent. And so this is what he's working towards. But his good intentions are so seeped with like hurt and trauma, and just he's going about it in the worst way possible. And so this first arc ends with the 2 brothers dying by the hands of Powder. Like, she kills them, which is insane, and this causes her sister Vi to leave her, to cool off and not like attack her, because she just witnessed her entire family die. She also kills her adopted father, Vander, and Vi hits Powder because of this, and she needs to cool off, so she walks away. But this gives an opportunity for Soko to take Powder in, because Vi gets taken away and put in prison for like all of these years. And this is how the first arc ends, and so immediately your expectations are subverted. Game of Thrones could learn a thing or two about subverting expectations, but you realize that this is a darker show than you first thought, that things aren't going to be happy. This isn't going to be a happy ending, and people are going to die, because 3 main characters were killed off by the end of Act 1. And then we get into Act 2, which takes place, I'm not quite sure how much in the future it takes place, but it's quite a while in the future. And we see Powder, who calls herself Jinx now, and she's just distraught. And Soko is her adopted father now, and he is... People are calling Soko a good father, and I understand that he loves Jinx, but this girl is a freaking mess. And Soko is sending her out on these missions to kill people, and I don't know, he's oh my god, she needs help, and he is not the help that she needs. And then on top of this, he's trying to raise up the nation of Zon, or Zon, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but he's trying to raise it up, but also he's going about it in the wrong way, because under Vander it was bad, but under Soko it's horrific. People are addicted to a drug that he put out on the street, and it's deforming them and turning them into these violent creatures, and it's literally his doing, and his people are dying. And I guess he thinks that it's like the ends justify the means, but it's like, it's really interesting because you do sympathize with him, but you see he's literally killing off his own people that he's trying to save. And then he has to deal with Jinx and her antics and her trauma, and then he also has to deal with his second in command, who is also such a cool character. So her name is Savika, and she's his second in command, and she's loyal, and she too wants to see this better life, but Soko is slipping, and so it's like, do I stay with this person who's slipping? And I want to talk about this scene where one of Soko's henchmen is trying to betray him and like pretty much stage a coup using Savika to do this. And in this moment, Soko does not know if she's going to stay loyal to him. And you see it in his face when she does, his sigh of relief, and it really humanized Soko in that moment. That, I don't know, it's just really, because some bad guys you see and they're like unstoppable, they're like these forces of nature who have no feelings, no emotions, and they're kind of just evil for evil's sake. But with Soko, he's just a person who wants to see better, and in this scene you really see that. You see his face when he sees Savika, I can't pronounce her name, is still on his side. So that was just a really, again, beautiful direction, beautiful animation. It was just really cool. But like, this is the third act, and through this we see a war is bubbling up between Piltover and the Undercity, and we also see I can't go into this entire story, guys. Just watch it. Just watch the show. It's so good. Okay, I'm gonna cut this short. I just want to talk about the very end of the third act, and it's when peace is proposed to the Council of Piltover, and they unanimously agree to bring peace between these two nations, so giving the nation of Zod their freedom and just not starting a war. But Jinx, I swear everything is Jinx's fault. I want to get into her when I get to the characters. Everything is Jinx's fault. But Jinx, after killing Soko, she turns this bomb on the council, and this is where we end off with her shooting this rocket at the council, and we don't know if it hits, we don't know who survives, but we have to wait till season 2. And it's really interesting because you didn't think the council would vote for peace, but they did. But because of the actions of one person, it all crumbled. Soko probably wasn't even going to agree to the terms anyway, but it's still just interesting to see how one person can truly change the course of history. Anyway, with that being said, let me quickly touch on the characters because there's a couple I want to talk to. I think I already talked about Soko, and he's such a good character even though he's like so messed up. Savika, again, a really cool character. She's definitely the enemy, but again, you understand why she's doing the things that she's doing. And that's the thing with the characters in Arcane that I rarely see in not only animated projects but just storytelling as a whole, and it's that nuance. No one is truly good and no one is truly bad, but they're really trying their best to accomplish their dream. You truly feel for everybody. You want everybody to win, even though you know that not everybody can win, or is anyone even going to win because it just seems like things just keep going awry when people try to do good, which is such an interesting theme to touch. And each character, even when they're on screen for like 5 minutes, you know them. You know what they're going through, you know what they're feeling, which is such an amazing feat for this writing team. There's a character with glasses, again I forgot his name, I'll put his picture up somewhere here, And we meet him in the beginning, and then he comes back again halfway through. I think he comes back in like the second act. And this dude is so weak and spineless. And he's addicted to the drug that Soko put out, and it like deformed him, but he keeps taking it. And it's because he wants to feel power. And so you're like, I don't agree with what he's doing, but I get it. Like, I understand, even though I don't agree. And that's what you feel for all of these characters. If you meet them for the, excuse me, if you meet them for the entirety of season 1, or just for those 5 minutes. And it's, I don't know, Arcane just really makes you feel for these characters in a way that I haven't seen in a really long time. And I also want to touch on the character of Jinx. I do not like this girl. I think this girl is a freaking mess from start to finish. I understand that I'm gonna get so much hate because Jinx is like everybody's tortured baby that you must protect. I do not like this girl. She is a mess. Everything connects back to her. Every bad thing truly does connect back to this girl. She truly is a Jinx. Oh my gosh. But she's an amazing character. And so even though I don't like her, I have to like her because she's such an interesting character. Again, I get it. I understand that trauma can cripple your soul. I understand that having that weight of you directly being the reason your family is dead, I don't even know what that does to a person's psyche. And so, and then also having your light, your life, like your older sister who you put everything in, abandon you. She didn't really abandon her, but in Jinx's eyes she did. Like, I don't know how a person could recover from something like that, and Jinx has not recovered. No help from Soko. And I get it, but I still don't like her. But I do like her. I like her as a character, and that's what Arcane does to you. And this is something that you feel with every single character that comes on stage. Even when they're like on it for a second. I know I keep repeating myself, but like it's just refreshing to see characters handled with this much care, whether they are supporting or a day player. Like, it's really just handled with like care and precision, and that's something I really appreciate. And I really hope going forward we see every single character handled like this. I hope it doesn't like, because I feel like so many shows start off amazing and then like as it goes on it just like diminishes. Steven Universe. So overall, I hope this made any sense. This is definitely a rant review and just like a spew of consciousness about how I feel about the first season of Arcane. Overall, I recommend. Even if you're not into animated series, this is worth it. Like, this should be like your entrance into the world of animation. I just recommend it to everybody. I'm so excited for season 2. I'm so happy that it was picked up for a second season. I heard that this is like Netflix's highest rating show, and it definitely deserves that honor. I honestly have no bad things to say about this show, which is surprising because on my channel I usually like have bad things to say about everything. But this is just a gem. Like, I'm sure there's like flaws with Arcane, but they're overshadowed by all the greatness of this show, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. I truly will give my 2 pinkies if I can work with this direction team. It's definitely the first thing I noticed about Arcane. Story writing is fantastic, the characters are fantastic, and I can't wait to see more from the series. So yes, I'm done. The rant has ended. Thank you for sticking around. If you stuck around this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna try and put more videos like this out where I review series, and then I want to get back into reading. Reading used to be like my entire life, so I'm really excited to get back into it and like put out more book reviews. So if there's something that you think I would like based off of like my other reviews, definitely let me know. But yeah, that's it. Let me know down below what you guys thought about Arcane, if you saw it. If you haven't seen it, watch it and then let me know down in the comments. Like, you can dislike. YouTube took away the dislikes buttons, which is really, really interesting. So can dislike, but I guess it doesn't really matter anymore. Yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.